Hey guys, I have to share something with you. I made an audio, but I'm like, I want to make a video. So I had the most wonderful morning because this morning I got up, I read a passage in the Bible, and it completely inspired me. Like, do you ever have those times when you like go and you read something and you're like, wow, that is like specifically made for this time in my life? This is talking exactly to me, whether it's a comedian or an inspirational speaker or some kind of quote that you read online. Well, that's what I had this morning. And so every morning I get up and I read this little book, 365 Daily Devotions, a little God time for kids. I originally bought this for my kids, but I read it myself because I just like to wake up to positivity in the morning, and I make sure to like put either some positive words via video or book or whatever. I always do something to kind of set the tone for my day in the morning, and today it was this. And so what I do is I read the passage from this book or the verse from the book, and then I go to the Bible and read like either the full passage or a full chapter, whatever. So today it was, the Lord wants to show you his mercy. He wants to rise and comfort you. The Lord is a fair God, and anyone who waits for his help will be happy. Now, the thing is, you don't know what's going on in my life. I'm sure of it. Maybe there's about five good people, six good people in my life who know the details of what's going on in my life. But I haven't really been online. I haven't been really social media-ing. But that spoke to me. And so I went to the Bible to read the full passage that this comes from, and it just like lit up my whole day. And before I get to reading you the passage that lit up my whole day, I want to tell you what I got from it basically, and then I'll go into the detail. And so what I got from this was, number one, is Google also putting like passages in my book, because whoever put that in there knows exactly what I'm going through right now. Second of all, this passage told me or reminded me that God is always there for you. Don't worry about anything. Where your energy goes, where your focus goes, your energy flows. Like, give it all to God and let him take care of all of your worries, right? All of your burdens. I know a lot of people are not religious, so I don't care if you are or you aren't. The point is, if you aren't religious, you probably believe something like the universe, or perhaps you believe in just energy or karma, whatever. It's all the same thing. So I just got from this, if you are not religious, like, just do good things, put your energy in good places, and then let things that you can't control handle themselves. You just have to worry about you. I'm religious, so I'm gonna go ahead and say that I believe you put your burdens aside, cast them on the Lord. That's what he's there for, and keep it moving and never betray who you are. Just keep your focus on God. So let me read you this passage, and it's titled Blessings for the Lord's People. So the Lord must wait for you to come to him, so he can show you his love and compassion. For the Lord is a faithful God. Blessed are those who wait for his help. O people of Zion who live in Jerusalem, you will weep no more. He will be gracious if you ask for help. He will surely respond to the sounds of your cries. Though the Lord gave you adversity for food and suffering for drink, he will still be with you to teach you. You will see your teacher with your own eyes. Your own ears will hear him. Right behind you, a voice will say, "This is the way you should go, whether to the right or to the left." Then you will destroy all your silver idols and your precious gold images. You will throw them out like filthy rags, saying to them, "Good riddance." Then the Lord will bless you with rain at planting time. There will be wonderful harvest and plenty of pasture land for your livestock. The oxen and donkey that till the ground will eat good grain, its chaff blown away by the wind. In that day, when your enemies are slaughtered and the towers fall, there will be streams of water flowing down every mountain and hill. The moon will be as bright as the sun, and the sun will be 7 times brighter, like the light of 7 days in one. So it will be when the Lord begins to heal his people and cure the wounds he gave them. Look, the Lord is coming from far away, burning with anger. Surrounded by thick, rising smoke, his lips are filled with fury, his words consume like fire. His hot breath pours out like a flood up to the neck of his enemies. He will sift out the proud nations for destruction. He will bridle them and lead them away to ruin, but the people of God will sing a song of joy. Like the songs at the holy festivals, you will be filled with joy, as when a flutist leads a group of pilgrims to Jerusalem, the mountain of the Lord, to the rock of Israel. And the Lord will make his majestic voice heard. He will display the strength of his mighty arm. It will descend with devouring flames, with cloudbursts, thunderstorms, and huge hailstones. At the Lord's command, the Assyrians will be shattered. He will strike them down with his royal scepter. And as the Lord strikes them with his rod of punishment, his people will celebrate with tambourines and harps, lifting his mighty arm. He will fight the Assyrians. Topheth, the place of burning, has long been ready for the Assyrian king. The pyre is piled high with wood. The breath of the Lord, the fire from a volcano, like a fire from a volcano, will set it ablaze. Okay. Thank you, Jesus. Okay, so anyway, let me tell you why this was so moving to me. Like I said, you don't know what's going on in my life. Only a couple people do know the details about what's going on in my life. But 2021 has been a test and a trial. Let me tell you, it has been, okay, let me tell you this. When you ask for patience, when you say, I want to be a more patient person, I want to be a calm person. I want to be, maybe more structured. How do you learn that? So when you ask God for patience, or when you ask yourself for patience, or the universe, or whatever, when you ask God for patience, just be ready, because that's when the storm comes. And that's definitely what I wanted to be, a more patient person, a more structured person, all that kind of stuff. And when I asked for that, God sent down the hailstorms in my life in 2021. And I have had every situation to deal with this year, and it has been a challenge and not a struggle. It hasn't been a struggle. It has been tough, and it has been a test, and it has been difficult. And 2021, it has gone to a point where maybe I never thought certain situations can go. However, having said that, I have also learned to stay true to who I am despite anything else that's going on around me. And there was a point, because this situation I'm talking about has been going on since last year, actually. But at a certain point in this process, the beginning, I was really angry. I was really impatient. I was really frustrated. And at some point, I said, you know what? If I'm really a believer in God, if I really believe in the energy of the universe, if I really believe that I am the creator of my reality, and I can do all things through God that strengthens me, then I got to really surrender to that truth and just go with it, right? Like, I can't be saying God's got my back and trying to fight my own battles. I got to lay back and let God do his work, right? And so at some point in this process, I said, okay, this is too much for me. I can't take this anymore. I can't take it anymore. I don't have the power to do it. I'm like, God, take the wheel. Dear Lord, take the wheel. I had to say that. And I surrendered to the process. And I surrendered to the process mainly because I knew that everything in this life is put in my way for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. There is no coincidence. Everything comes into your life for a reason. And there's a passage that I read not too long ago. I can't remember where it is. I'll find it and post it. But anyway, there's a passage I read not too long ago that said, in God, all things are good. And so with that in mind also, I had to think everything that's happening to me is actually happening for me. I'm not a victim. anything I'm experiencing now, I'm going to be able to use this in the future. So lay back, relax, do you. Stay true to who you are. Go high when others are going low, and let God do his work, right? And so I had to do that. And that began my kind of path towards patience and greater faith in God. And so since I made that decision last year, I've just been like turning the cheek left and right for those who have tried to come up against me, tell lies about me, destroy me, all those things. And at some points it seems like, God, this is so unfair. Like I am being the better person. I am always offering solutions. I am always doing my best to be my best and be a child of God. But like, God, why? Why are you letting these people test me and try me like you're not here? Like, where are you? You know? But despite having all those questions, I'm like, God is here, God is working. This is happening for my good. And when I read this passage here, I definitely identified with the part that said, here we go. Though the Lord gave you adversity for food and suffering for drink, he will still be with you to teach you. Okay. So I was like, yeah, I identify with that. But as I put my faith more and more in God and let God do what he do, I began to slowly see how God works, how the universe works. We are only so powerful with our own strength and our own cleverness, but when we kind of submit and surrender to the process, then the impossible becomes possible. And I began to witness that. And so this whole passage here reminds me that you got to let go and let God, because he'll do it. I'm still in the process, which is why this really resonates with me so much. I'm still in the process. It's going to be a little minute before I am beyond the process. But this one, it reminded me, when you let go and let God, the impossible becomes possible. And recently there was a small win for me, and I am so happy about that. But you know, that's not the full road. And this passage reminded me to just keep going, to just keep surrendering and keep letting God and keep doing my best to be me. And so I wanted to say, whoever's out there who's going through some struggles or some problems, because it's coronavirus time, and I know we're all facing, challenges to live a new reality. All I want to say is, yes, you might be going through some challenges. No, you might not see the solution right now, but you got to let go and you got to just become one with the process. One thing that I like to compare it to is, for example, when you go to an improv class. And in improv, they tell you, no matter what the person or people around you who are acting with you in that little sketch, no matter what they throw at you, you have to take that on as if you planned it, as if it was meant to be, as if it's part of a script. Anything that they throw at you, as crazy as it might be, you have to accept it all and flow with it. Or like Bruce Lee says, be like water, like you have to surrender to the process and just go with whatever it is as if it was supposed to happen, because really it was supposed to happen, whatever's happening in your life. And you have the opportunity to learn from every situation. And so that's what I've been doing in this process. Everything's going to be all right as long as you don't try to fight the naturalness of what's happening. And so this passage reminded me of that. And I want to tell you it's going to be okay. Whatever you're dealing with, whatever challenges, adversity you're dealing with, it's going to be okay. But of course, it's easy to say that. The bigger question is, okay, say I surrender, say, yeah, have your way, Lord, whatever. How do you actually practice that on a day-to-day basis? Number one, I'm gonna tell you what I've been doing. Number one, you have to know that you are not perfect and you will not always be on your game. So be forgiving of yourself. Let's just start with that one. You are not a robot. You are not, immortal. you are a human being and you are going to falter at some point. So don't even try to be perfect. That's not the whole point of the exercise. You're learning. So number one, accept that you're an imperfect being and you will make mistakes and go back to maybe distress or feeling overwhelmed at some point. That's fine. But the second thing that I learned in this whole process of getting through these difficult times is you have to be very, very conscious about which perspective you choose in the process. What do I mean by that? Good question. It is very easy to take the victim position and say, this is happening to me, they're doing this to me, this is being put on me. It's very easy to do that. It's something that we do by default a lot of the times because that's just the general way that society likes to, shepherd people. But it's another thing when you say, okay, this thing happened, there's some good in it, so let me see how I can flip this to my advantage. So, for example, in coronavirus, at the beginning, I was definitely distraught. Definitely, best believe I was distraught. I had one of the biggest deals that I was going to sign up on coming to me. It was a huge project. It was going to be amazing. I was actually supposed to fly out to make that deal like 2 weeks after we went on lockdown, or like a week after we went on lockdown. And I was like, ¿por qué? God, why? Like, what is going on? And I felt so cheated. I felt so bad because I thought, I'm coming to something that would be amazing for me. And like right as I grabbed for it, God was like, nope. And I'm like, really? Really? So I was really distressed and distraught. But then I thought, you know what? This is happening for a reason. So let me just go ahead and sit back. Of course, I boohooed for a couple of days, but I just said, let me sit back and let me flip this a little bit and look at it from a different perspective. How can I make this whole thing work for me so that this feels like it's positive? Number one, I don't know what God saw in the people that I was making the deal with. Maybe he saw something that I didn't see, and he knows stuff that I didn't know, obviously. But that deal wasn't for me, period. And maybe it was, and it'll happen later down the road. But the second thing is, I had a lot of things that I wanted to do that were getting put off because I was traveling so much and on the go so much. So I said, you know what? What are some of the things that I can do while I'm sitting here and have nowhere to go that I otherwise wouldn't have time to do because I would be out and on the go and obligated to do X, Y, and Z? So learning Arabic. Maybe you've seen me post some of that. I've wanted to learn Arabic for a long time. I've been learning Arabic for a year and I've made some strides and I'm so happy about that. That's amazing. The second thing, I've really wanted to learn a lot about the film industry and learn about storytelling. So I signed up for a masterclass. Maybe you've seen it on Facebook and I really enjoyed it. I recommend it, at least for 1 year. But I signed up for that platform and I learned so much that I would have never taken the time to learn had I not been on lockdown. I also learned about negotiation from Chris Voss. He wrote Never Split the Difference, and he was a hostage negotiator for the CIA, I think. And wonderful, wonderful book, which is going to be valid for all of your life and every aspect of your life. Got through that. That was amazing. So I got to go on this kind of learning spree that I would have never gotten to do had I not been on lockdown. The other thing was in my relationship with my boyfriend. Because we were not in close proximity, we didn't have the physicality of a relationship that usually helps you blow past some of your trials and tribulations. But we had to work on our communication, and it developed this kind of intimacy that really honest and vulnerable communication creates in a relationship. And we would have never reached that point so quickly had it not been for the pandemic. And that's something that I'm so grateful for, because when you say, a partner's on your side, they know what you're thinking, and like you're a team and all, like we have that now. But without the pandemic, I'm not sure we would have that. Definitely not right now, but I don't know how long it would have taken to get to that point. And so I'm super grateful for that. I'm grateful for the fact that I rediscovered how important physical activity is. I got to network within my local community and get to know more people and do more things. I wanted to travel around Europe, which I hadn't done much of, and I traveled to 9 countries last year. And I got to travel in a way that most will never get to travel. I don't mean just to destinations, but there were no people there. Went to Pisa, empty. Went to Florence, empty. Went to Cairo, pyramids, empty. Amazing travel experiences that you will not get at any other time, and at amazing costs. Definitely at amazing prices. But there were a lot of things that I got to do in that time simply because I changed my perspective and said, hey, how can I flip this so that it's positive for me? And I can say that that is possible always. It is always possible. And so I did that. And I think that's one of the most important things when it comes to knowing that God is always working for you, knowing that life is always working for you. If you really embrace that, then you're going to look for the good in every situation, which is also important because the truth of the matter is anything that you think or believe can be true. What do I mean by that? Your perspective will shape the information that you process in your mind. It will shape the information that you perceive, that you get, how you break it down, and how you understand it. Your perception will change all. So, for example, we have this debate in the United States, and there are people on one side saying that the U.S. is racist. There are people on the other side who say the U.S. is not racist. Who's right? Both are right. Because when you believe that racism doesn't exist, you will go out and you will find every piece of information that says, nope, it's a myth. And here are the facts why. When you believe that it is racist, then you will find all the facts that say it is racist. You will always find the information that backs up your beliefs. Especially with the internet, when anybody can publish anything, you will always find evidence for what you believe. So when you believe, for example, the US as a country is not fair, it is racist, it is biased, it is harsh, and you can't do anything to come up, you are going to find every piece of information to validate that oppression that you feel. You're going to find every reason to keep yourself back because you are so firmly rooted in that victimhood that you're out there seeking information that proves your point. If you say, you know what, the US is racist, but there are other people who have come up in this system, and there are resources for people who want to grow, and all I need to do is find my own path to the top, then you find solutions and options that make that possible. And that's where we find that Confucius was definitely right. Whether you say you can or you can't, you are right. Because you will find every piece of evidence to justify whatever you want to believe. And so when it comes to believing, going back to the scripture, when it comes to believing that God is on your side, the universe is on your side, everything is always working for you, you got to be very, very careful about how you want to perceive things. You have to be very careful about the information that you let in your mind. And what do I mean by that? A lot of times with so much entertainment around us, with social media and everything, we, without even thinking twice about it, let a lot of negativity, cynicism, through our ears and in our eyes. And that affects you as a person. That affects how you process information. It affects how you feel. And I would say do an experiment. Go ahead and listen to 10 minutes of positive music. See how you feel. Listen to aggressive music for 10 more minutes and then see how you feel. You're being intentional about it. But the thing is, imagine if you see any slight difference, imagine what that is like if you're not paying attention. it has a big effect on you. So be aware of your perspective. Be aware of what you let in your eyes and your ears and in your spirit. Be aware of just your perception of how things are working for you. And the last thing I would say is make sure that you are intentional about how you live your life. Meaning, when I wake up, like I told you, I read my Bible, I read my little book there. I always start my day with positivity. I don't necessarily go on my phone and check my emails or anything like that. I always try to set the tone for the day, whether it is listening to a TED Talk, listening to Abraham Hicks or Oprah, reading my Bible. I always start the day off with positivity. A little jazz music on my TV. I'm always trying to structure the environment around me in a positive way. Make sure you hang out with positive people. Some people get lost because they feel like jokes, like cynical jokes and negative jokes and jokes making fun of people. Like, oh, it's just making fun. Oh, it's just jokes. No. You have to make sure that the people around you are feeding the life that you want to live, because if not, you get sucked into a life of negativity, really. I mean, I could say a lot about that, but anyway, be careful about the people that you hang around with, because you're the average of those people, and I'm sure you've heard about that. Anyway, so let's wrap this up. Number one, whatever you're going through, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay, because life is always happening for you, not against you, not on you. Life is always happening for you. And you have to make the decision that that is true and that you're going to use every single experience to your advantage. Number two, make sure that you're very aware and conscious of your perception, because perception will change your reality. Number three, make sure that you are very mindful of how you curate the entertainment and the things that come through your eyes and ears, because it will completely taint your spirit if you let it, or it will completely uplift your spirit and take it to the next level if you let it. Number four, make sure that you're hanging around good people who are lifting you up, who are cheering you on, and really want to see you win. And then number five, make sure that you are curating an environment for yourself that is conducive to where you want to go and what you want to do. I had to share that with you. I'm going through a lot of stuff, but I feel so blessed and so lucky for the perspective I have that I had to share that with you. Hopefully you took something from that. Hopefully you enjoy that. If you have a comment, go ahead and put it in the comment section. But, I just wanted to share this because as much as I can, I love to put positivity out there and share it through my own life experiences. Thanks for watching, and I'm wishing you the best day ever.